Hey guys. Good morning everybody and welcome to Jakarta, Indonesia, the bustling capital of the largest country in Southeast Asia. So why am I in Jakarta, Indonesia? Why am I not chilling on the beach in Bali? That's a good question. I think Jakarta is one of the most underrated tourist cities probably in the world, with the majority of people who come to Indonesia never even visiting it. So the goal today is to show you the sights, the sounds, and especially the food of one of the coolest cities in Southeast Asia. Come along for this adventure and we'll see what we get up to. Directly behind me you can see the National Monument of Jakarta and the hub for the political national monument of Indonesia. Why am I not inside? It's Monday and apparently you cannot go inside on Monday as they're doing renovations, which is very convenient, of course, for the meaning of this video. So I want to tell you a little bit about the backstory of Indonesia. It all started in the 1950s after 350 years of colonization by the Dutch. It ended and they had this leader named Sukarno who for 10 years really brought the nation together, followed by 20 odd years of, some might say dictatorial rule, others might say, bureaucratic, really good leadership by a man named Suharto, who really changed the face of Indonesia and who is pretty much the father of modern Indonesia. Since then, Indonesia has grown to be one of the largest countries with nearly 250 million people, more or less. And it's also the largest Islamic nation in the world. So we will check out the largest mosque in Southeast Asia and one of the largest mosques in the world after you consider the mosque in Saudi Arabia that they use for the Hajj. Let's go. Hey my friend, Okay. So I do have to say that if you want to go to a place with very little European tourists, Jakarta is definitely your spot. I learned the word the other day. It's called bule. A bule is a white face, basically, and compared to, I assume, what Bali is like with a bunch of drunk Australians and a bunch of ridiculous antics, Jakarta is very much local. Most of the tourists are probably from Saudi Arabia and bordering Southeast Asian countries, where I think the West kind of looks over Jakarta as a place to land and then go to some place a little bit more scenic. Having just been to India recently, in my mind Jakarta, a city of 25 million people, I thought it was going to be chaotic and dirty, but much like Kuala Lumpur, which is only 1 million people, but in Malaysia, it's very modern, very clean, and very organized in a very significant way. So as a tourist, it's kind of hard because the scale of the city is so large, but getting around I think is pretty reasonable, minus the horrendous traffic, which has been ranked, I think, in the top 5 of the world's worst traffics, with Mexico City, with Los Angeles. So getting around here, easy but not easy, basically based on the scale, but very, very nicely surprised with the quality of public transportation here and just the cleanliness of the whole country. So the mosque we'll be going to is called Istiqlal. And later we'll be going to Ancol, which is the seaside that has apparently quite good seafood. Now I'm on a green light and people are not stopping. So I've now been let into the mosque, thankfully. And here you can see the big minaret, very indicative of any mosque. And at the top they do the call to prayer, which you may hear later. And over here there's the large dome. And back over here, we have the National Monument again. A fun fact about Indonesia and Malaysia is that their alphabet and language is written in Latin script, and they also use Latin numbers. But you can also write the language in the Arabic script. Obviously, it's not Arabic, it's Malay or Bahasa Indonesia. And then here, they also have the numbers written in the Arabic script, which I find super cool. Assalamualaikum. trying to find a good location to tell you the story of Islam in Indonesia, but it seems like everywhere I go there is construction and noise, so I will find a spot. The story of Islam in Indonesia is very interesting and has a lot of historical significance. The spice traders from the Middle East came to the Dutch East Indies, and even before it was owned by the Dutch, trying to trade spices from the Middle East and India in exchange for sugar and rubber from the islands here. They first landed in northern part of Sumatra, known as Banda Aceh, where today you'll find the most conservative Indonesian people with regards to the Islamic faith. The faith then spread from Sumatra to Java, where we are here, this island, north to Borneo, and as well as Sulawesi and Papua, to all the islands. It was used in a way to kind of move away from Dutch repression during the colonial period, where the Dutch colonizers tried to influence them to convert to Protestantism. The banding together in the Islamic faith became a really important part of the Indonesian identity, and now we have the largest Muslim country in the world being Indonesia, something that is extremely unique and something that's very noteworthy. The Islamic faith here is very open compared to the Arab faith that I've experienced while traveling in the Middle East. The women wear brightly colored hijabs and don't often wear the full burqa, and the men are very open to talk to you and are always very open to explain to you the teachings of Islam, but also allow you to walk in a mosque freely and speak, which I've never really had that experience before. Yes, what's the name? Yeah. Okay, can I get one? Satu. I've got a little street stop. I picked up Es Dawit Ayu, and I'm gonna give it a try. All right, it's salty and caramely. Kind of, I think it's coconut milk or some kind of milk, and then there are very weird green noodles inside. So if anyone, any Indonesian friend or follower can explain to me what this is, I would love to know more information. Behind me here, you can see a bit of the Dutch colonial past, and this is called the Jakarta Cathedral, and it's been here for nearly over 100 years now. Left the original plaque from when it was created, and here you can see in the corner 1931 was the year it was built. I will take this moment to praise the Indonesian people. Everybody here is so wonderfully nice. The amount of waves, hellos, and a police officer just stopped me to make sure that I knew where I was going and if I would be okay going there myself. So I want to take a moment to say terima kasih, Indonesia. It's been a beautiful, beautiful trip so far. It's now time to go to the Old Town. I found an uncle. He's got a nice motorbike. Basically every Asian man over the age of 60 turns into an uncle one time or another, and now he's going to get me a helmet. And I have no idea if he understands. I tried to say I'll pay him a fair price, but I don't know what he's understood, so we'll see. Paid the uncle something like $1, and now I'm dropped off in Kota Tua, or the Old Town of Jakarta. You can see the Dutch architecture kind of start to unfold a little bit. Hello. Hello. Indonesia was ruled by the Dutch through colonial times, from basically the start of the 1600s to the independence of Indonesia in the 1960s. Here behind me, right in the center of Kota Tua, you can see the old Dutch colonial town center, and around you can see a very traditional kind of colonial, I would say, square. During the time of colonialism, Jakarta actually changed its name to Batavia, apparently. And so here you can see the Cafe Batavia, which apparently was a prison for Indonesian dissidents, but now it is a cafe. So probably one of the only places you can experience a prison and delicious coffee at the same time. You would like to take a picture with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pakai itu.
Good. You're welcome. Nice to meet you.
You are
Bye-bye.
very good, Mbak ya.
Feeling good. What's up, boys?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice day. So now it's time to do the street food tour for the Old Town area of Jakarta. I have 50,000 rupiah in my hand, which is about, I don't know, $6, and we are going to see what that will get me. The food market here is actually on the side of the bus station, so it is, I would argue, a little bit dangerous, but that's just me. So the first thing we'll be trying is something called batagor, which is a mix of, it seems like tofu, fried shumai, and otak, which is basically Indonesian fish balls, but not in ball form. They're in, I don't know, the long form. Yeah. Okay, so this is batagor, and this is, you get a stick. This is what they're calling shumai, a little chili sauce, a little ketchup manis, which is sweet soy sauce, and a peanut sauce as well. Pretty good. Okay, number 2 on our tour is otak, which is fish.
Fish, yes.
Fish, go for it. Yeah.
Chili sauce, okay.
Chili sauce, okay, my friend. Yes.
Spicy.
Spicy.
Okay.
It's good.
Again.
Okay, happy. Super happy.
Okay.
Thank you, my friend. Now we have something called otak. Here, I'll let you see in the camera. It is crispy fish cake with chili sauce, I guess. So now we'll give this a try. Okay. That requires a lot of chewing. If you've ever had the Indonesian prawn crackers, this is exactly what these are, but obviously made by somebody in a stand as opposed to like in a factory in a bag. So, 3 out of 5 stars. So, same food scene, different time of day. We have Satay Im, which is chicken skewers that are grilled over an open fire, as we just saw, topped with a little bit of fried onions and a little bit of the classic peanut sauce that you find all over Indonesia. So let's give it a try. Yes. Anything that comes on a skewer in Indonesia is something you have to get, because everything that I've ordered so far has been the best thing that I've eaten here. Okay, for the last part of the 50,000 rupiah food challenge, we've got nasi goreng, which is just the very traditional Indonesian fried rice. You got some egg, got a little chicken on top, and on the side we have this like kind of like salsa salad situation with chilies and chopped veg, and then they topped it with the very typical fish chip. Absolutely delicious, something definitely to try when you're in Indonesia. Delicious. As classic as it gets. Like. This is a rambutan. Oh, he's buying some. And it's very much like a lychee, but it looks crazy outside. Rambutan, yeah. Okay. It's really good. The last destination of today is the Jakarta Harbor, also known as Sunda Kelapa, which I am told by a very good source that it is the old name for Jakarta from 1527. I cannot verify this information, but apparently there's some really nice boats that we will see over here. So here at the harbor is the northern point of the old city of Jakarta, and it seems like one of the big arteries for all the manufacturing and trade goods that they have coming into the city. The weird fact is that Jakarta is slowly sinking into the ground, which is a major problem. So the government of Indonesia has actually decided to move the capital to the island of Borneo, which is about 2,000, I don't know, maybe like 800 miles, 1,000 miles to the east of here, and kind of restart in case things get a little sketchy. So the future for Jakarta, we're not exactly sure what it's going to be, but we'll see. Jakarta? Citra Bagia. Hello. 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 My friend, how are you? Dusty.
Hey, the Saban!
Saban.
Yes, you can't find three. This one?
That's it.
What's your name?
So I've been trying to find the marina for the past like 30 minutes, and it's been a labyrinth of things like this. And it's a little frustrating, but quite confusing. But everyone's very helpful. Everyone likes to have the bule here, so that's funny. And which way? This way? This way. Okay, this way. Chop, chop, chop. Okay. I feel like I'll never get out of here. But I think this is going to be the end of the blog today. So if you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of my travels. Make sure to comment. I'm going a lot of places in Southeast Asia, so if you have recommendations or you guys want to see me go different places, let me know. All right, have a good one, guys. Exit! Yes!